everyone, guess who's back? I know, it's been a minute. We took a little break, had to deal with some unexpected chaos. Very on brand if you think about today's topic. But Scarlet Everose is officially back. Yay! And we're diving into the deep dive. Today's solo episode, oh, it's a big one. We're unveiling the mind of the wildcard, the magician, the master of unpredictability, Hisoka Morow. If you're new here, welcome to the Chaos Center. I'm Scarlet Everose, your guide through the psychological spirals of anime's most dangerous minds. So grab your cards, your popcorn, or whatever keeps you grounded, because this one's a trip. Before we start slicing into Hisoka's psyche, I just want to say thank you seriously. Whether you're on YouTube comments, DMing me, chaotic theories on Instagram, voting in those insane polls, this community, unreal. And speaking of polls, y'all wanted more solo breakdowns, and of course Hisoka topped the list. The clown prince of manipulation. I mean, how could I not? And the fact that I wanted to talk about him, you guys, for so long, I was like, finally some of you guys wanted me to talk about him for the longest time. And a solo, too. Oh, that's amazing. And in this episode is much yours as it is mine. Let's play! Segment 1. Who is Hisoka Morow? Hunter, magician, manipulator, monster. Hisoka is one of those characters who walks into a scene and suddenly the tone shifts. He's unpredictable, unsettling, and yet you can't look away. Unlike traditional villains, Hisoka isn't here for power or revenge. He's here for pleasure, for the thrill, for the art of the fight. Everything he does feels intentional, even if it looks unhinged, and maybe that's what makes him so terrifyingly sexy, in my personal opinion. Okay, before we dive into anything else, I understand that some of y'all do not like him, which agree to disagree. And I understand he's a very controversial character, and I know a lot of people have their very strong opinions on him. But I'm going to be very real with you guys, whether you disagree or agree. He's a very fascinating character, in my personal opinion. I know it's kind of very hard to understand that due to how he speaks, and how he acts and stuff like that. But, I'm going to sound very she's what is she talking about, like, Scarlet, what the hell are you talking about? What I'm talking about, you guys, is that he's not, in my personal opinion, he's not just that, you know what I mean? There's a lot more layers to him that a lot of people don't really talk about. The fact that for one, we don't know what his past is at all. We have zero clue on what his past is, as he barely even talks about it. And he's so focused on what other characters have that probably he doesn't, in a way, and that's what makes him terrifying, but that's what makes him very sexy and very seductive. Plus, you cannot, in my personal opinion, he has a very steamy, honey-like, seductive voice. That's all I'm gonna say. Segment 2. Seduction, sadism, and strategy. Let's talk about how Hisoka manipulates both characters and the audience. His aura is performative, seductive, even when he's drenched in blood. And it's not vanity, it's control. His charm isn't meant to make you like him, it's meant to disarm you. Yes, so even though I sound and my takes in anime men can be quite questionable at times, but yes, that is very true. He's the type of person that doesn't care if you like him or not. He will use seduction, sadism, anything in his power to make your aura feel scared to lower it so that he feels like the most powerful of out of what he wants to feel. So that's why he uses seduction. But in my personal opinion, when I saw him, I didn't really think about that, or he didn't really disarm me or terrify me. He fascinated me because as a woman that loves psychology, he's the type of man that, sure, I may not go after or I wouldn't say chase. I would not chase a type of man like him because I'm understanding my worth. But in other forms, he's the type of man that I don't know why those type of men. And there's gonna be other characters that I will be talking in my other episodes that are gonna be coming very soon. I'm really excited. Where I don't know, these type of men just have a certain way of thinking that makes a woman like me. For one, I want to make this clear, not to change him, because ladies and gents, you cannot, or anybody, you cannot change anyone. If they don't want to change, do not feel like you're responsible to change them. If they don't want to change, get out. Seriously, get out. It's not worth it, you guys. And as a person that has a kind heart, it is the hardest thing to understand, but you have to. I had to learn the hardest ways sometimes of having a kind heart, and that is one of them. And just don't, please know that your mental health is extremely so important that it's not worth risking your mental health or your physical health to save someone that doesn't want saving. Period. And not just that, you guys. He plays with expectations, using humor to hide horror and violence to make a point. Oh yeah, he loves that. He loves to fight. He loves seeing potential in all characters. Doesn't matter who it is. He's that type of person that if he finds potential in you, even though in my personal opinion I wouldn't mind, but I have to remind myself, I'm like, girl, he's a red flag. He's not gonna change. He's going to use his seduction on you, and you know darn well not to fall for it because you know how he is. I have to tell myself that. But he's such a very fascinating character. And does that excuse some of his behavior in the show? Absolutely not, because I'm going to be real with you guys, and I probably never really said that. Maybe in my first episode, but probably because I was so nervous, I didn't really explain that well. But, okay, I'm going to be brutally honest. If Hisoka was what a lot of people paint him as, I get it. If he really was like that, and he really hurt Gon, Killua, all the characters and the way people perceive him as, which you can have your own opinion on that, I would not, for one, he would not be my favorite character. Second of all, I would not be making a podcast about red flags, period, if this was the actual reason. Because if he honestly was, do you guys really think I would be such a fanatic of Hunter x Hunter? Like, really think about it. Like, would I be? Hell no. And I'm just saying, if he really was, I would not be supporting him. I would, no. If he really was with the type of people that paint him. And trust me, as I tried to say in my first episode, I was very scared to support him, you guys. Or should I say like him, because a lot of people really painted him as this type of person, and at the time before I didn't even watch the show, I was like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth? Because he caught my eye, okay? He caught my eye, and I was like, can't I? And then I watched the video a long time ago, and then it just kind of gave me kind of made me feel like, okay, I don't care what anyone says. If that's their own opinion, that's their own opinion. And I wish I could find the video because it was so good. It really talked about him a lot more than I'm probably speaking about him, but it really helped me kind of not feel nervous or afraid to talk about him or like him in that sense. And you know, I think most of all, what a lot of people tend to forget is that whether you disagree or agree, without him, for one, Gon and Killua would have never known what Aura was or what Nen was if it weren't for him. If he wasn't there in Heaven's Arena when the boys went there, they would have not met Wing, Master Wing. They would not met anybody to know what the aura was. And if he wasn't in there, I'm sure the show would have been different, trust me, but it would not be the same. And that is my very own opinion on that, whether you agree or disagree. And I'm gonna say that a lot because a lot of people have very strong feelings, and I'm just gonna be saying agree to disagree, really. He's not just a fighter, he's a performer. Every move he makes is a part of a twisted performance piece, and the stage is always soaked in tension. Oh yeah, because out of what I've done research on him and stuff like that, I am planning, probably I'll make this into a part 2 because I really want to read with you guys the manga. Well, not the manga of what Togashi did. It's a blessing from another author of one of my other favorite animes called Tokyo Ghoul. That I think this person made some sort of backstory on him. It's not canon, but Togashi made it up. Like, he said it was okay to make him like that, and I want to read it, and it just looks so fascinating. I might have to look it up and see what it is, but I'm gonna let you guys decide if you guys want a part 2 on this. So yeah, he's chaotic, but he was meant to be there, you guys, whether you guys agree to disagree. He's not, and also I want to also mention this too, he's also the type of character that he's not entirely bad, but he's not entirely good. If it benefits him, he's there. If it's not, he won't be there, period. Segment 3, Power, Performance, and the Joy of Conflict. Bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum. Yes, we know, but what is it really? Psychological impact. Hisoka's nen isn't flashy by accident, it's symbolic. It represents his unpredictability, his ability to twist and control any situation no matter how chaotic. But even more than his power, it's why he fights. He just doesn't crave strength, he's aroused by it. The fight is foreplay. The risk is the romance. Yes, so he has his line, as you guys heard me say. Bungee gum is the properties of both rubber and gum. It's a part of the nen ability also called texture surprise, which is like an elastic gum. Not literally, not the gum that you eat. It just stretches. It stretches, and it protects him, and he does a lot of things with it. And he also Hisoka treats battle like ballet, bloody, beautiful, and deeply personal. Oh yeah, I don't know what. I don't even know if I can see this on YouTube, but he has some sort of way to get excited by being hurt, which I want to say he's a masochist as well, because you can tell he is. You can tell he is, because every time he gets a punch, he's wow. Very wow. And I can't even show some episodes because, holy cow, for one, I might be drooling, and the second part, I don't want to get demonetized. But yeah, he's very, very, I don't know what to say. I like him regardless, but you can kind of see why a lot of people are like, can I? And there are some times where I'm like, oh, sweetheart, I think keeping your mouth closed would be better. And I'm gonna say this. That he's one of those characters where he's fascinating, yes, but I'm gonna say this, and without sounding harsh or arrogant here, he is also the type of person that you can say he's sexy when he keeps his mouth shut sometimes. Because a lot of people look at you and be like, I'd be like, I know. But still, he's a fascinating character, and whether you guys agree to disagree, he's the type of person I would never, I'm gonna be brutally honest, I would never introduce him to my parents. If he was real, I would never introduce him to my parents. If you guys watched, I think it's my third episode. I'll link it up here and on the screen. I talk a little bit more on that because I was also talking about Shu Tsukiyama from Tokyo Ghoul, and I was saying that if I had to choose between Shu Tsukiyama versus Hisoka, Shu would be it, because Shu, even though I know this is Hisoka related, solo related, but I'm just putting my little thought here for context here. If Shu from Tokyo Ghoul, if he has more character development, Hisoka on the other hand, doesn't, like, at all. And that's what makes him fascinating, and he's just a really interesting character. But if I had to choose between Hisoka and Shu, I would introduce him to my parents. In the beginning, yes, he's insane, but he gets character development. He's not 100% normal, but he's a little bit more stable than Hisoka. And both of them are just blueprints. I mean, but one, like I said, one gets more character development than the other. But he's such a fascinating character, and he's the one that I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's the one that I've done more research on than any other character, if I'm being honest, which I'm also rewatching Hunter x Hunter, the show, and I'm learning a lot more things about other characters that I did not realize before. Segment 4: Freedom, Fetish, and the Fantasist mindset. Hisoka is one of the few characters in anime who truly lives without restraint. Of course he does. He's emotionally unburdened, morally untethered, and entirely self-serving, aka a bit of a narcissist. But strangely, he's not hollow. He's full of desire, obsession, and delight. He doesn't kill to dominate. He kills to experience, and in a way, Hisoka is more honest than most heroes. Yes, going back to the whole, neutral, personality that he has, to him, everything's a game to him. To him, you either are with him or against him, and he don't care. If you call him so many names, he wouldn't care. He's the type of man that he lives without morality. He does what he pleases, honestly. He can do whatever he wants, because to him, the only person in his mind that he cares about the most is himself, and not in a way that says, oh, that he loves himself. No, because if you guys have probably not realized, or not realized, but probably didn't say it in my episode 8, but he's also the type of character, and this is the why I find him really fascinating, because he's the type that I think secretly, in my personal opinion, is probably the most insecure person secretly. And hear me out why I think that, and in my personal opinion, I'm going to say that, because Hisoka, from what I've read a little bit about in the Wikipedia of him, and reading a little bit and watching videos, different type of videos on him, and in my own conclusion, he's a type that says he doesn't care, and he might not in 99% of the time. But if he feels that he has to prove to himself, and secretly, quote unquote, prove to others that he doesn't need anyone, in my personal opinion, he's a liar, because he probably, who knows, hopefully this is why I pray that Togashi gets better soon. If you guys do not know who Togashi is, I speak about him in my first episode, but he's the author of Hunter x Hunter. Anyway, my point is that I feel, in my personal opinion, he's the type of man that is very insecure, secretly. He might not show it through emotions, he might not show it through words, but he will show it through actions, because he's very insecure. He does care what people think, because he doesn't care to be in his own business. He likes being nosy. In my personal opinion, he likes being nosy, because who the heck knows what happened in his own life, and why he became what he became. I can't use the manga that my other favorite author of Tokyo Ghoul has up, because it's not canny to it. But what I love about Togashi, though, is that he gives us space to kind of fill in the blanks in one's personal opinion on why he's like that. And in my personal opinion, something very traumatic had to happen to him in order for him to be like that. Because in my personal opinion, he wasn't born like that, okay? He could not be born like that. There's no way. There's no way. I don't know, call me Delulu or call me delusional, but he cannot be that way. Like, there's so much more to him than just games and seduction. And I'm sure, to him, games and seduction is some sort of defense mechanism. It has to be. It has to be a defense mechanism, because the way he acts, Alumi tells him that Gon is hurt. Well, supposedly he's dying. Spoilers alert there. Hisoka kind of reacts like he's like, wait, what? Like, he cares not in a traditional way where he's gonna go soft and no, heck no, he would never go like that. But he cares in a way to the point that he's not that heartless as people portray him as in the show and the audience. He cares a lot more than people might think. And in my personal opinion, I think the reason the way he is because he's just a person that is trying to fill a void of something. Something we don't know what it is. Because seriously, we do not know his past. We do not know his past, but if I could say something, something must have happened for him to be like that, because there's no way he was like that because he wanted to. You would think that, people like the Joker or like, these other villain characters, I'm sure somewhere he has to have either a tragic backstory, or I wouldn't be surprised if he really was like that, because in the manga of the Tokyo Ghoul version, I mean, of the author of the way they made it, I know it sounded like when he was a kid he always was like that, but in my personal opinion, he's not. Something had to happen like that, for him to be like that. And in my personal opinion, if he was real and he tried to seduce me or anything, would I fall for it? No. But would I like it? Yeah. Because I ain't gonna lie, he's sexy. In my personal opinion, he's sexy. But he's the type of man that's very insecure. He would push anyone away. And going on a little inspirational moment here. Please, if anyone like that is making you guys feel like you guys aren't worth something, or or they make you feel like you're the problem or you're the bad guy, you're not, because those type of people are people that are insecure themselves. They would do anything to hide behind a mask. We all hide behind a mask, whether we like to admit it or not. We all have done something we're not proud of, but nobody should ever make you feel like you're responsible for anyone's problems. You're not. You're responsible for your own problems, and you are responsible to act how you want to be treated as, because nobody's going to treat you if you don't treat yourself with love. I'm sorry to say like that, but it's true, and I had to learn that the hard way. And that's why the reason I made this channel is to talk real talk. Yes, I want to say this. Yes, you guys may go on my Instagram and you guys may see me simping for Hisoka, but just remember, you guys, in reality, I'm just doing it for entertainment, to be funny, to make you guys have, crack a laugh or something. But in reality, you guys, even though I know Hisoka's really hot and attractive, but that's the whole point. Looks are deceiving, and I would never go to him in reality. There's no way, because he's very insecure. He may hide it behind confidence in some way, and some sort of confidence. Yeah, you could take some notes in how he perceives himself, that he doesn't care, which in reality kind of does a little bit, but he doesn't show it. But he's the type of person that he's not entirely heartless, but he wouldn't shy to tell you the honest truth if he sees you doing something that he doesn't like. Either that or he'll kill you. But he's the type of person that nobody should ever look for in a reality of a man. You guys can simp, because look, I fangirl over him because, for one, he's sexy at the end of the day, in my personal opinion. But Would I go out of my way to find a guy like him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because why be with a person that would make you feel like trash at the end of the day? The heck no. My worth is way bigger than that, and you guys should think of your worth as the same thing. I know it's hard, it's not easy, but you guys deserve way better than that, and I hope that my message helps you guys understand that, you know, you guys can simp for 2D characters, but just know when there's a limit. Like, if you guys are putting it to the point that you guys want a real person like that, yeah, that's too much, in my personal opinion. But you do you, boo. You do you. So that's Hisoka, a chaotic force of nature, a sensual sadist, a master of control, who lives for the unpredictable. Some see a clown, others see a monster. But if you look closer, you might just see the most honest character in the whole damn story. Damn right it is. Thanks for riding this wild wave with me. I missed y'all. Episode 10 is gonna flip the table again because yes, we're going deeper into the Phantom Troop. I'm already brewing theories and pouring over manga panels. Until next time, don't trust a magician. Never blink during a smile. And remember, in Hisoka's game, you're the card. Love y'all. Bye!